Welcome to what might be the most infamous murder home in all of America. This is the Lizzie Borden house, located in the quiet town of Fall River, Massachusetts. To understand the ghosts that haunt these walls, we have to go back to a sweltering hot day in August 1892. Inside this very house, in broad daylight, a brutal double murder took place. Andrew Borden, a wealthy but notoriously frugal businessman, was found dead on the living room sofa. His skull had been crushed by 11 savage blows from a hatchet-like weapon. Upstairs, in the guest bedroom, his wife, Abby Borden, lay in a pool of her own blood. She had been struck 19 times. The scene was a nightmare of violence. Yet, the initial investigation found no signs of a break-in. The doors were locked from the inside. No windows were shattered. No intruder was ever seen entering or leaving the property. This led the police to a chilling conclusion. The killer was someone already inside the house. Suspicion quickly fell on one person, the only individual with both the motive and the perfect opportunity. Lizzie Borden, Andrew and Abby's 32-year-old daughter. The shocking nature of the crime and the unlikely suspect captured the nation's attention, giving birth to a sinister nursery rhyme that children still chant today. Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. The rhyme, of course, exaggerates the number of blows, but the horror of the real crime is no less disturbing. Lizzie was arrested and put on trial for the murders of her father and stepmother. Throughout the proceedings, she maintained her innocence, often appearing calm, even smiling in the courtroom. In a verdict that stunned the public, the all-male jury found her not guilty. Legally, Lizzie Borden was an innocent woman, but in the court of public opinion, she was, and still is, seen as the woman who got away with murder. The world never truly believed her innocence, and the Borden house became a place forever stained by the crime. Today, it stands not just as a historical landmark, but as a museum and a bed and breakfast, a living nightmare trapped in time. Every piece of furniture, every decorative item, is placed exactly where it was on that fateful day in 1892. The house is a perfect, chilling replica of the crime scene. Walking through its rooms is like stepping back into the past. The original sofa where Andrew Borden took his last breath still sits in the parlor. In the guest room, the very bed where Abby fell is still there. Even the mirror she might have looked into just moments before she was attacked still hangs on the wall. And it's here that the strange activity begins. Countless visitors have reported looking into that mirror, only to see the faint, spectral image of a woman standing right behind them. They turn around, and of course, no one is there. It's said that if you stare too long, Abby's reflection will become clearer, her face etched with terror. For those brave enough to spend the night, the experience has become far more intense. The house is considered one of the most active paranormal hotspots in the country, and Lizzie's old bedroom is a hub of terrifying encounters. Guests who try to sleep in her room often report waking up in the middle of the night, completely paralyzed. They describe the feeling of cold, unseen hands pinning their arms and legs to the mattress. Some feel a cold breath on the back of their neck, while others hear faint, disembodied whispers right next to their ear. One of the most frequently reported apparitions in Lizzie's room is that of a silent, watching shadow woman. She is often seen standing near the closet, a tall, dark figure that just observes. She never speaks, never moves, but her presence fills the room with an overwhelming sense of dread. Is this the spirit of Lizzie herself, forever bound to the room where she once slept, forever guarding her secrets? Or is it something else, a darker entity drawn to the residual energy of the murders? The paranormal activity isn't confined to just one room. In the guest bedroom, where Abby Borden was so brutally murdered, visitors often experience a sudden sharp pain in the back of their head. It's a phantom sensation, but it strikes in the exact spot where the first blow from the hatchet landed on Abby. It's as if the house forces you to feel her final agonizing moments. The house also seems to hold a grudge against women. In old family photographs displayed throughout the home, the faces of the women have been mysteriously cut out. At night, some guests have heard the sounds of a woman screaming, a cry of pure agony that seems to come from the photos themselves. The sounds of the Borden house are just as unsettling as the sights. Late at night, when the streets of Fall River are quiet, the house comes alive. Heavy footsteps are heard pacing back and forth across the upstairs floorboards, following the same path over and over again. Then comes a sound that chills everyone to the bone. A heavy, repetitive thud. It sounds exactly like an axe striking wood, or perhaps something softer. It repeats again and again and again, an auditory replay of the murders that occurred over a century ago. Paranormal investigators have flocked to this house for decades, and their equipment has captured some truly remarkable evidence. During electronic voice phenomenon sessions, or EVPs, recorders have picked up voices the human ear cannot hear. One of the most famous recordings is a faint, chilling whisper that seems to say, "She did it. She did it." When investigators directly address the spirits, the responses are even more unnerving. A common question asked is, "Lizzie, did you kill your parents?" On multiple occasions, a clear, disembodied voice has been recorded answering, "I was in the barn." This was the exact alibi Lizzie gave during her trial. A claim that she was out in the barn looking for fishing sinkers while her parents were being murdered. Is her spirit still trying to convince the world of her innocence, or is she repeating the lies she perfected so long ago? The spirit of Andrew Borden is also believed to haunt the home, forever attached to the spot where his life was violently taken. His presence is most often felt near the sofa in the parlor. Men who sit on that sofa report a sudden, overwhelming feeling of dread and a crushing pressure on their chests, making it difficult to breathe. It is as if Andrew's spirit is trying to make them feel the life being forced out of him. While his spirit is rarely seen, women have often reported hearing a man groaning in pain when they are near the sofa. It's a low, guttural sound filled with anger and suffering. Andrew Borden was known in life as a stern, unyielding man, and it seems in death, his angry spirit remains. But perhaps the most terrifying area of the entire house is the basement. This dark, stone-walled space is where, according to some theories, the murderer may have hidden the bloody weapon and washed the blood from their clothes. It's a place heavy with secrets, and many believe it's where the darkest truth of the Borden murders is buried. The energy down here is different. It's not just sad or angry, it's hostile. Visitors who venture into the basement have reported hearing deep, growling voices warning them to get out. Crawling shadows are seen darting across the floor and up the walls, seeming to come from nowhere. The feeling of being watched is constant and oppressive. Many people can't stand to be in the basement for more than a few seconds before they are overcome with fear and flee back up the stairs. Some have fainted, while others have been so terrified by their experience that they have vowed to never set foot in the house again. The basement feels like the heart of the house's darkness, a place where something truly malevolent lurks. So the question that has echoed for more than a century remains, did Lizzie Borden really murder her parents? The court of law said no, but the ghosts of the Lizzie Borden house seem to tell a very different story. Their whispers, their phantom pains, and their terrifying appearances all point to a truth that was never proven in court. They are restless spirits, trapped by the violence of their final day, seemingly unable to find peace. It's as if they are waiting, eternally waiting, for a justice that was denied to them in life. And until that justice is finally served, they will continue to haunt these halls, forever reminding the world of the bloody secret hidden within the walls of the Lizzie Borden house. Thank you for joining. me on this journey into one of America's most haunted homes. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more videos about the world's darkest mysteries. See you next time.